On March 11, 2022, a small-budget film called The Kashmir Files released. It is based on the tragic events and stories of Kashmiri Pandits and their exodus from Kashmir in 1990. It's been a week and the movie has already been declared a blockbuster with its collection nearly touching 150 crore rupees. What is the reason behind such craze for a movie that doesn't have any big star and doesn't fit Bollywood's norms? How is it that a tragedy that happened 32 years ago is still able to resonate with people in 2022 through the medium of cinema? Cinema has been used for decades as a powerful medium of political and cultural communication, especially since independence.
कश्मीर छोड़कर जाने को कहा है।
हमारे लोग मर रहे हैं सर।
Cinema shapes the consciousness of people. Over time, we have seen how history, culture, cinema and politics go hand in hand. Take the case of the Kashmir Files. It is based on real-life accounts and oral testimonies of the victims of Islamist terrorism in Kashmir. The narrative put forward by the director is praiseworthy. He has tried to incorporate all types of characters, be it an IAS officer, police officer, journalist, doctor and even terrorist turned freedom fighter, to show the events that led to the exodus. The portrayal shows how the entire administration failed in Kashmir and how New Delhi was deaf to our frantic calls.
कश्मीरी पंडितों ने तो कभी कोई बंदूक नहीं उठाई।
A significant portion of the dialogue is in Kashmiri language. Raliv Galiv Chaliv. Chants from the mosque. The despondency of a Sharda Pandit. Cries of a character as he suffers from dementia and brainwashing by the main terrorist. All important dialogues have been spoken in Kashmiri to keep the authenticity of the film and tragedy alive. These dialogues are still reverberating in our ears.
वो खुद भागी गवर्नर से मिल गई जहाँ शिव सरस्वती ऋषि कश्यप हुए वो कश्मीर हमारा था जहाँ पंचतंत्र लिखा गया वो कश्मीर हमारा था तू जानता ही क्या है कश्मीर के बारे में
This movie has become a blockbuster. The post-release response has been phenomenal and shown how the PR machinery of big films as sheer marketing of no value as content and honest storytelling have turned out to be king. It has become a movement in which people, small businesses and shopkeepers are giving discounts to customers to encourage them to watch this movie. Politicians across the political spectrum are debating the film. Some are calling it half-baked propaganda without even watching the film. If there is genuine criticism about the movie, critique its scenes, story, screenplay or on any other technicality. But the truth has a way of coming out, some day or the other. Here, it took 3 decades. Do not deride our story and try to attach any kind of spin doctrine to it, without acknowledging the atrocities meted out to the community. What next after the success of the movie? A historical wrong has been shown and acknowledged after 3 decades. An overwhelming desire has now been created amongst the masses to read and educate themselves about it from whatever resources are left. Academia should push for more pandit-oriented research work. The onus is now on the government to ensure due justice. The Pandits didn't just leave their homes, there was also a political, religious and cultural root out of the community from Kashmir. Our age-old traditions were lost, temples destroyed, the Sharda script forgotten and, over decades, even the emotive connect with the homeland begun to fade away. The past cannot be corrected and there can be no justice until and unless there is a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to investigate each and every incident of violence against the Pandits. The repatriation can start later. So apart from commerce and the movement it has given rise to, The Kashmir Files is an apt example of cinema as a tool to generate cultural and political consciousness. Through the powerful medium of cinema, the cultural movement ignited by this movie should be utilized by the government. First, the government must ensure that an exodus of this kind never happens again with any community. Second, the thousands of Kashmiri Pandits must be given due justice via speedy trials. Third, the historical wrong should be corrected by including events from 1989-1990 in the education curriculum. Let the future generation know about our history. Otherwise, within 2 decades, we might not even exist in any memory. Lastly, more documentary and independent filmmakers should be encouraged to cover our stories from 1989-90 onwards. The terror, exodus, living in shanty tents, denial of basic necessities, deterioration of physical and mental health, and our resolve to focus on education and not violence. There are thousands of such stories which need to be shared. Art heals us. If this movie can be the beginning of some sort of closure for the community, then it is a good case for the amalgamation of culture with politics.